Don't you dare skip this message, not this one, because there is something your soul has been trying to understand for a very long time. And today, Jesus wants you to hear it clearly. You have been asking God for a sign, praying quietly at night, wondering if He still sees you after everything that happened, wondering if He still has a plan for your life after all the mistakes, all the delays, all the pain nobody truly knows about. And the truth is, He does. In fact, the reason this message found you right now is because heaven has been trying to reach you for longer than you realize. You thought the exhaustion was just stress. You thought the emotional heaviness was just life. You thought the isolation was bad luck. But something spiritual has been happening around you this entire time. There is a reason you feel disconnected from certain people now. A reason loud environments suddenly drain you. A reason your spirit feels tired after being around fake energy. A reason you cannot enjoy things that once distracted you so easily. God has been separating you from things that can no longer go where He is taking you. And honestly, that separation hurts. Because sometimes God removes people you thought would stay forever. Sometimes He allows silence where you expected support. Sometimes He lets you walk through seasons where nobody understands your battle except Him. But hear this carefully. Just because God is silent does not mean He is absent. Some of the greatest transformations happen in silence. Before Jesus began performing miracles publicly, He spent time alone in the wilderness. Before resurrection came, there was suffering. Before purpose became visible, there was isolation. And maybe that is exactly where you are right now. You keep asking God why life has been so difficult, why your mind has been under attack, why you feel emotionally overwhelmed at random moments, why you feel pressure from every direction. But what if the pressure is not proof that God left you? What if the pressure is proof that something inside you is changing? Because pressure reveals identity. And the enemy attacks hardest when he senses purpose awakening inside someone. That is why you have survived things that should have destroyed you emotionally. There were moments you felt completely broken, moments you cried in private and acted strong in public, moments you wanted to give up completely. But somehow, you are still here, still breathing, still hoping, still searching for God even after disappointment. Do you realize how powerful that is? Some people lose faith after one painful season, but despite everything you've faced, your spirit still reaches for Jesus. That matters more than you know. Jesus sees every silent battle, every hidden tear, every night you stared at the ceiling asking God for answers, every moment you felt abandoned, every time you chose kindness while secretly hurting yourself. None of it went unnoticed. And maybe that is why your spirit has felt different lately. You are becoming more sensitive spiritually. You walk into rooms and instantly feel tension. You notice when someone is hurting, even if they smile. You feel uncomfortable around fake people without fully understanding why. That is discernment. And the more God prepares someone, the more sensitive their spirit becomes. You were never meant to fully belong to this world. That is why normal conversations feel empty sometimes. That is why your soul craves deeper meaning. That is why material things no longer satisfy you the same way they once did. God has been calling you closer, not to religion, to relationship. There is a difference. Religion says perform perfectly. Jesus says come as you are. Religion shames weakness. Jesus heals weakness. And maybe for too long you believed God only loved the perfect version of you. But Jesus has always moved closest to broken people. The rejected, the exhausted, the lonely, the ones everyone else overlooked. That is why He understands you completely. He understands the anxiety, the overthinking, the fear about your future, the disappointment you never fully talk about. And despite all of it, He has not walked away from you. You may have felt distant from God lately, but God has never been distant from you. Even in moments where you stopped praying consistently, He stayed. Even when you doubted yourself, He stayed. Even when life became confusing, He stayed. That is real love. And something is about to change in your life, not because of luck, not because of coincidence, but because God knows you cannot remain in this season forever. The confusion will not last forever. The heaviness will not last forever. The loneliness will not last forever. There is a shift coming. You are going to notice certain doors suddenly opening, conversations that change your direction completely, new peace entering your mind unexpectedly, strength returning slowly after months of emotional exhaustion. And the craziest part is, people who underestimated you will not understand how you recovered. Because what God does inside a person cannot always be explained externally. Some people only knew the wounded version of you. They met you during survival mode. They met you while you were still questioning your worth. But they are not prepared for the healed version of you, the version of you that finally understands your value in God's eyes, the version of you that stops chasing approval from people, the version of you that protects peace instead of begging for attention. That version is coming. And yes, it may cost you certain relationships. Not everyone can grow with you. Some people were only assigned to a chapter, not the entire story. Jesus himself experienced betrayal. So stop blaming yourself every time someone walks away. Sometimes distance is protection. Sometimes unanswered prayers are protection. Sometimes God removes people because he sees conversations you cannot hear and intentions you cannot see. Trust him even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. And listen carefully to this next part. You need to stop talking down about yourself. Stop calling yourself weak. Stop acting like your life has no purpose. Stop believing the lie that you are forgotten. You survived too much to still think God has abandoned you. There is a reason the enemy keeps attacking your mind, because your mind carries power. There is a reason darkness keeps trying to drain your energy, because your spirit carries light. The enemy would not fight you this hard if your future was meaningless. And deep down, you already feel that. That feeling in your chest lately, that inner pull telling you something bigger is ahead, that sense that your life is about to change somehow. Pay attention to it. God often whispers before he moves. So slow down, spend time with him again. Pray even when you feel emotionally numb. Worship even when life feels heavy. Protect your spirit from constant negativity. And stop allowing temporary people to have permanent access to your peace. Not everyone deserves access to your energy anymore. Some people carry confusion, some carry chaos, some carry darkness disguised as friendship. Discernment will save your future. And from this moment forward, your relationship with Jesus must become deeper than appearances. Talk to him honestly, not perfectly, honestly. Tell him when you are afraid. Tell him when you feel angry. Tell him when you feel tired. He already knows anyway. And the beautiful thing about Jesus is this. He does not wait for perfection before loving someone. He steps into brokenness and transforms it slowly. That is what he is doing with you right now, even if you cannot fully see it yet. One day you will look back at this season and realize God was rebuilding your entire life underneath the surface while you thought nothing was happening. One day the pain will make sense. One day the delay will make sense. One day the isolation will make sense. Because the version of you coming out of this season will think differently, love differently, move differently, and see yourself differently. This is not the end of your story. This is the part where God begins pulling you into who you were truly created to become. So don't ignore this message. Not today. Because maybe this was not just another random video appearing on your screen. Maybe this was Jesus reminding you that despite everything trying to break you lately, he is still with you, still guiding you, still protecting you, still calling you forward. And no matter how dark life has felt recently, your story is not over yet.